Hello there, and welcome back to Non-Name Talks.
It's great to be here. Welcome to this deep dive. We're here to explore, gentle ways to look after your mental well-being, keeping it simple, practical, not too academic.
And today we're diving into something pretty topical, artificial intelligence, AI, and how it's starting to connect with mental health.
All right. We've been looking at quite a bit of material for this, research, papers, articles, reports,
Yeah.
all trying to understand how AI is being used in this, well, sensitive area.
Yeah, there's a lot out there.
So our mission today really is to pull out the practical stuff. Like, how is AI actually being used right now to maybe support mental well-being? Things like chatbots, you hear about those,
Yeah.
acting as maybe an emotional safe space. But we also need to look at the flip side, the advantages and the disadvantages. And we want to base this on credible research, not just hype.
Absolutely. It's important to have a balanced view. So where should we start? Maybe just a quick refresher on what AI actually is.
Good idea. Keep it simple, though.
Okay. So fundamentally, AI systems work by taking in loads of data, just huge amounts. And then they look for patterns, connections within all that information. And based on those patterns, they can make predictions or, decide how to respond.
So it's like a superpowered pattern spotter.
Kind of, yeah. It's finding trends and using them. But it's more than just crunching numbers. AI has some abilities we usually think of as, well, human-like thinking.
Like what?
Well, things like learning from new information, reasoning through problems, even self-correcting as it goes along. And sometimes it can generate creative outputs, too.
Okay, so it's learning and adapting. We see AI all over now, don't we? Like chatbots on websites.
Exactly. Or speech recognition on your phone, facial recognition, even the text suggestions when you're typing an email.
Conjunctive text, yeah. Language translation, too.
That's another big one. And identifying pictures or objects. These same basic AI capabilities are now being applied in mental health in some pretty interesting ways.
Okay, so give us some examples. How's it being used specifically for mental well-being?
Well, one straightforward use is medication reminders, just helping people stay on track with their prescriptions.
That seems really practical.
It can be. Also, symptom tracking. AI tools can help you monitor how you're feeling over time, maybe spot patterns or triggers yourself.
Ah, okay. Like noticing if you feel worse on certain days.
Precisely. And some tools are designed to help with cognitive distortions, those negative thought patterns. They might prompt you to reframe them, look at them differently.
That sounds almost like a mini CBT exercise.
It has elements of that, yeah. And beyond the individual, AI is also being looked at for suggesting things to clinicians or even helping with, like, writing up notes after sessions. Takes a load off, potentially.
Right, the admin side of things. Okay,
Yeah.
that gives us a good overview. But you mentioned chatbots earlier, acting as emotional safe spaces. That sounds like a really direct application for people.
It really is. And it's not entirely new, actually.
Yeah.
The idea of conversational agents for therapy goes back quite a way. Remember Eliza, 1966?
Wow, 1966, really?
Yeah. It was designed to simulate a specific type of therapist, a Rogerian one. Lots of reflecting back, empathy.
That's fascinating. So why do people find talking to a chatbot about their feelings appealing? What's the draw?
Well, there seem to be a few reasons. Some people just say they feel more comfortable sharing really personal stuff with an AI. Maybe they feel it won't judge them.
Less fear of judgment.
Right. And there's no perceived bias. Plus, the chatbot is always there 24/7. You get an immediate response. You don't have to wait for an appointment. It seems, counterintuitively maybe, that for some, talking to a robot feels safer.
That non-judgmental aspect is really interesting. Are there well-known examples of these chatbots we can look at?
Oh, yeah, definitely. There's Wobot. It was founded by a Stanford psychologist, I think. It kind of acts like a companion, checks in with you daily, helps you observe your emotions, learns about you over time.
Wobot, okay. I've heard of Replica too. Is that similar?
Replica's a bit different. It lets you create your own AI friend, like customize it. The idea is it's a space to share feelings, and the AI learns from your conversations to become more like the friend you want or need.
A personalized AI friend.
Yeah.
Interesting. And what about WISA?
WISA is another one. It focuses on providing space to just express stress, anxiety, negative feelings anonymously. It analyzes the conversation to try and respond appropriately to whatever emotional state you're expressing.
So different flavors, but all aiming to provide some kind of support. The big question, though, does it actually work? Is there evidence?
That's the crucial question, isn't it? And yes, there is research. For example, a study on WISA found that users who engaged with it a lot showed significantly more improvement in depression symptoms compared to a control group who just got information.
Okay, that's quite promising.
It is, and interestingly, in that same study, both the WISA group and the control group saw significant reductions in anxiety. So even just getting information helped with anxiety, but the chatbot interaction seemed to add something extra for depression.
All right, so there's definitely something happening there. Okay, let's zoom out a bit. What are the broader potential benefits of using AI in mental health care?
Well, a big one is just increasing access, getting support to more people, especially those who might struggle to get traditional therapy because of location, cost, or maybe stigma. AI tools are just there.
Makes sense. Breaking down barriers.
And potentially improving engagement, too. Plus, there's the privacy angle. Some suggest AI screening might reduce human bias that can sometimes creep into initial assessments. People might be more honest with an AI.
Less self-consciousness, maybe.
Perhaps. And think about the professionals. AI could potentially reduce their burden. If AI handles initial assessments or provides basic support, it frees up therapists for more complex cases.
Like a triaging tool.
Sort of, yeah. We mentioned the DMID app in Thailand. It assesses users' emotions with AI, and then psychologists step in depending on how severe things seem. It helps direct resources effectively.
That's a smart application.
And then there's personalization. AI can tailor the support based on individual needs, even adapting to someone's cognitive capacity at that moment, making it more accessible.
Adapting the interaction.
Yeah.
Okay. And you mentioned early detection earlier, too.
Yes, that's a really interesting area. Analyzing digital exhaust, basically, the data trails we leave online, like our language patterns on social media, maybe how we type. AI might be able to spot subtle changes or patterns that could indicate the early stages of a mental health condition, sometimes even before the person themselves is fully aware.
Wow. That could be huge for early intervention.
Yeah.
But, okay, this all sounds very positive. There must be downsides, concerns.
Oh, absolutely. There are significant concerns. A major one is trust. If these AI systems don't work well, or if something goes wrong like that Nadia chatbot, Tessa, that had to be removed because it gave harmful advice.
Right, I remember reading about that.
This can really damage people's trust, not just in that specific AI, but maybe in using technology for mental health overall.
And tied to that is the risk of people, what was the phrase? Trusting incorrectly.
Yeah, believing the AI is more capable or accurate than it really is, relying on it too much, and maybe not seeking human help when that's actually what's needed.
That's a worry. Because AI, no matter how smart, it can't replicate human empathy, can it? That connection you get with a therapist.
Exactly. That human connection, the nuanced understanding, the shared experience, that's incredibly important in therapy, and current AI just isn't there. It's a tool, not a replacement for that relationship.
It's a very important limitation.
Yeah.
And then the obvious one, data, privacy, and security.
Huge. We're talking about incredibly sensitive personal information. How is it stored? Who has access? Is it secure? These are massive ethical and practical challenges. There needs to be really robust protection.
We hear about data breaches all the time already.
Precisely. And people are worried. Studies show concerns about misuse of data. Also, related to the human connection point, some worry that relying too much on AI in service industries, including healthcare, could lead to less human interaction overall.
Losing that personal touch.
Yeah. And we also have to remember, AI systems aren't infallible. They can be inaccurate. They can sometimes even, well, make things up, hallucinate, is the technical term.
Make things up, like incorrect information.
Yes, or miscritical things. There was a concerning finding a few years back about child advice chatbots failing to recognize signs of sexual abuse. They aren't perfect systems.
That's really serious. It highlights the need for caution.
Definitely. And public perception reflects this caution. Research, like from Pew Research Center, found a majority of Americans, like 60%, would be uncomfortable if their own doctor relied heavily on AI for their care.
So there's still a level of discomfort there. Okay, we've covered a lot. The tech, the examples, the good, the bad. Let's bring it back to the listener. If someone's curious, maybe wants to explore this for themselves, what are some easy, gentle ways to start without feeling overwhelmed?
Well, a really simple first step is just to try out some of the free apps we mentioned. Wobot, Replica, WISA. Just download one, interact with it a bit, see what it feels like. No pressure.
Just dip your toe in the water.
Exactly. And you can use that interaction for self-reflection. Pay attention to your own responses, your feelings as you chat with the AI. Wobot kind of encourages this, using it as a tool to observe your own patterns.
So using the AI to learn about yourself.
Yeah. And it doesn't all have to be about deep talk. Think about stress relief.
Mm,
Apps like Calm or Headspace, they use AI behind the scenes to personalize things like guided meditations or relaxation exercises. That's another way to engage.
right. Using it for mindfulness or just winding down.
hmm Another way to think about it is as a potential starting point. Like the DMND app idea, interacting with an AI might help you clarify your own needs or identify areas where maybe talking to a professional could be helpful.
So not as a diagnostic tool, but as a prompt,
hmm
a way to check in with yourself.
Exactly. A prompt, an initial exploration. It shouldn't replace professional advice, but it might help you figure out if you want to seek that advice.
That distinction feels really important.
It is. And finally, you can just use AI for learning. Ask an AI chatbot to explain a mental health concept simply or summarize some information you found. It can be a useful tool for just understanding things better.
Okay, so trying apps, self-reflection, mindfulness tools, exploring needs, and learning. Those are all pretty accessible starting points.
Yeah.
Given all the pros and cons, what's the bottom line on using these tools responsibly?
I think the key is balance. Recognize that AI offers some really promising ways to get support. It can be accessible, personalized, non-judgmental in some ways. Tools like chatbots are a new way to explore feelings,
Yeah.
but be really aware of the limitations. It's not human. It can make mistakes.
Huh.
Privacy is a concern. Trust is essential, but it needs to be justified trust based on transparency about how these tools work and what they can and can't do.
Transparency is key for building that trust.
Absolutely. And remember that things like empathy, deep understanding, human connection, those remain vital in mental health care. AI can be a valuable tool in the toolkit.
But it's not the whole toolkit.
Exactly. It complements, it doesn't replace human expertise and connection.
That feels like a really important takeaway. AI is a potential helper, but human connection remains central.
Right. And as this technology keeps evolving, it really pushes us to think about what support means, what therapy means in this digital age. How do we navigate trust and empathy when interacting with machines about our deepest feelings?
That's a really provocative thought to end on. How will we adapt our understanding of support and connection? And what role do we each choose to play in that evolving relationship between tech and our own inner well-being? Lots to think about.
Definitely. It's a space that's changing fast.
Well, this has been a fascinating exploration. Thanks for diving into this complex topic with us.